All right, we apologize for that. Now we move on to ABSA Bank Kenya, which has recorded a 32% growth in profit after tax to 8.3 billion shillings in the first half of 2023, despite the heavy headwinds driven by inflation, currency depreciation, and rising interest rates. Noakip Kemboi now joins us with more details on this. Good afternoon, Noah. Tell us more.
Well, good afternoon, Calvin. Indeed, it's that time where we're getting half-year performances from major banks in the country. And as you've mentioned, rightly put, 8.3 billion shillings in profit after tax. This is a 32% growth year on year. Quite an interesting performance right there by ABSA Kenya. Right now, I'm joined by Yusuf Omar, who's the CFO, ABSA Kenya. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. 32%, people say banks rarely make a loss. Talk to us what informed this particular performance, especially profit after tax.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. I think if you look at our performance, it's really driven with the balance sheet growth that we've been able to record in this half. And in there, you look at loans and advances to our customers. We've grown that by about 22%. And in there, you see there's a big chunk that is to do with SMEs, so supporting the economy despite the challenges that we are facing, but making sure that our clients can be able to get the needed financing to be able to support their businesses. So that has helped us in terms of just the returns that come in our revenue streams. And then on the side of deposits, you've seen that picking up by 18%, with a big chunk of that, nearly 60% of that being transactional.
One of the biggest concerns has been, FX exposure, considering the way the dollar has been, performing against currencies globally, especially our shilling. That has been quite a concern. As a bank, where do you stand on this? Have you put buffers that have enabled you weather these times where we've been seeing, depreciation of the shilling against the dollar?
I think for us, if it's issues to do with exposures, like in our lending, you'll see that our book, a big chunk of it, 2/3 of our book is actually in local currency. And the third that we have exposed from a foreign currency perspective is what you would say is surrounded by fundamentals of banking. I.e., what that means is we are lending to customers in foreign currency, customers who have inflows in foreign currency. What you avoid is a wrong way risk, where you're lending to someone in foreign currency, but their inflows are actually in local currency. So that gives us a good insulation, because then it means they will not be affected. And this will be, for example, exporters. You could have a small proportion of customers who, while they don't get their inflows in foreign currency, they can be able to price for that. And so for those ones, in exceptional circumstances, we also consider them.
In terms of diversification strategy, it heavily lies on and has an impact on NFIs. Talk to me about that particular sector. Is there a new approach, especially with the strategy of the bank, to see changes in that tenet?
Absolutely. I think if I look back 5 years ago, between that time and now, we've introduced about 16 new revenue streams. And all of these new revenue streams are there to cushion us, to make sure that we have a proper, well-diversified income streams. So areas, for example, like, the bank assurance business, we didn't have it in the past. Today is a business that is generating over 1 billion shillings in revenue. And all of this will come under the non-funded income line, so it's not dependent on the balance sheet. We're introducing, our custody. We're about to start our custody. We started our custody business. We have new streams like asset management that are coming in.
Finance Act 2023, quite a concern right there. At the same time, double-edged sword, pros and cons. From where you sit, especially for your customers, how will this impact business, especially by the end of this year?
Yeah. I think, to be honest, you see all of these, changes in the finance bill. They're being made for a very good reason. There are challenges in terms of raising, revenue to be able to meet the, both the recurrent expenditure for the government, but also investment capital expenditure. I think for me, what is fundamental is these policy rates are there to look for, opportunities to protect the economy. I gave today a very good example where I met a customer who deals with electrical cables. He used to import 40-foot container from China. He will pay about 12 million to clear that container. Today, he's paying about 21 million to clear the same container. Now, he told me he stopped importing. He is now promoting and buying all the cables locally here in Kenya. But more important, he's now thinking of manufacturing. So when you look at the finance bill, yes, it has its own challenges here and there, but Kenyans' resilience and getting to, to change their business proposition, to me, I think that's the most important one. And I think even with this finance bill, we will get an equilibrium where we'll be able to stabilize and, issues of investments will be able to be done.
All right. Thank you very much, Yusuf. All right. There is Yusuf Omar, CFO, ABSA Kenya, and it's very positive, bullish, I must say, so far going by the results of the first half of the year 2023. Very promising, and he says as much as there are changes, all will culminate, and maybe in the near term we'll see some of the benefits, especially with the issue of finance bill, Calvin, which has been quite a concern right there. But that's the latest from the ABSA Kenya corner. Back to you in studio.
All right, now we move on to Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir has asked that the blame game